everyone. AUAA University Alumni Association USA welcomes all Anomalayans and everyone else joining this event. Vanakkam. This is Jayashree, also known as Narayani from 1993 batch of Bachelors of Pharmacy and 1996 batch of Masters of Pharmaceutical Sciences. Anomaly University Alumni Association USA is proud to conduct first of its kind series Current Affairs. More such series will be conducted monthly. These are lined up, which will be announced at the end of this event. This is just a beginning and more to come. Today, December 12th, 2020, under the Current Affairs series, we are privileged to discuss with Consul of India from Houston, Mr. Jacobs Abrahams, on topic guidelines for travelers to India during pandemic. Government of India took phenomenal precautionary steps to curtail the pandemic spread by implementing travel restrictions to and from India. It kept evolving as the situation changed. Let us hear from Counsel Mr. Jacobs Abrahams on the latest restrictions and process to travel to India from here for US citizens as well as Indian citizens. Thank you, Consul Mr. Jacobs Abrahams, for your esteemed presence and offering your expertise today with the Namalayans and others. Over to you, Consul.
Very good morning to all of you. I hope I am audible. I am really happy to be with you to share the latest guidelines about travel to India. I know, as all of you know, this pandemic has created a lot of confusion, doubts, and in our daily life. But first of all, let me tell you one thing. Greetings from the Consul General, Mr. Asimar Mahajan, and the entire team of Consul General of India in Houston. We are here to serve you people, and we are happy to share whatever information we have so that it help the entire community in a better way. My name is Jacob Abraham. I have been here for the last 2 years and almost 4 months. And for the last 1 year, I am working in the consular section. So I'm happy to be here to share the concerns. Okay.
Thank you. Let's go over questions that we have drafted already. So the first question is, what are the visa restrictions for travel to India as of today? Can you please explain?
Yeah, as of today, all the long-term tourist visas, medical visas, and e-visas are suspended due to COVID-19 pandemic. There are many visas, long-term visas issued earlier. All of these three varieties, that means tourist visas, medical visas, and e-visas are suspended due to COVID-19 pandemic. Those who are holding valid visas of the aforementioned categories are not eligible to travel to India right now. So for any emergency travel, they have to obtain short-term emergency visas, which will only be given once the individual provides documentary proof of an emergency back in India. Individuals traveling for business, employment, or medical purposes should apply for fresh visas with all the necessary documents. Here, let me clear one thing is that the restrictions are put by the government of India, keeping in mind the safety of all the passengers as well as the people back at home. So take it as a precautionary measure rather than government putting some restrictions. Okay, that is what I want to tell about these restrictions right now.
Okay, thank you. The next question, moving on to the next question. Will an US citizen of Indian origin with a 10-year tourist visa issued several years back be good for travel now?
This question has already been answered, but tourist visas, both e-visas and visas issued by consulates and embassies. That is, this is for all over the world. tourist visas issued, which were obtained as e-visas from the system or issued by consulate and embassies, are currently suspended due to COVID-19. So for any emergency travel, they have to obtain short-term emergency visas, which will only be given once individual provides documentary proof of emergency in India. Here I wanted to clear one more thing, that there is no provision for getting an e-visa right now. Only you have to approach the nearest consulate or embassy for getting an emergency visa.
Oh, okay.
So that 10-year tourist visas issued earlier is suspended, temporarily suspended for the time being. And maybe when the situation improves, government will, of course, remove the restrictions.
Okay. So even if a person living in a small town, right, do they have to travel to the nearby consulate where consulate is, and then get an emergency visa, or is it offered online?
Yeah, that is what I told you. Online facilities are not available for issuance of emergency visa. The application, necessary documents, fees, and the passport has to be sent to the consulate by courier or by post, along with a prepaid return envelope, in which the passport will be returned once the visa has been issued. In case of real emergency, we even make special arrangements for the people to walk in. But that has to be done in consultation with the concerned consulate. We in Houston, of course, in USA, all over USA, we make special arrangements for real emergency for people to come to the consulate and to get the visa.
Okay. So is there a different procedure for Indian citizens with US green card?
Of course, the preference will be given, because emergency means that we will discuss later, medical emergency or death of relatives, nearest relatives, So most probably the people who will be applying for this emergency will be people of Indian origin.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So what are the procedures for Indian parents with US citizen minors? Their kids basically are US citizens here traveling with them. Is there a different procedure for minors?
No, similar to adults, minors will also have to obtain an emergency visa, regardless of whether they have a valid long-term tourist visa issued earlier, since all such visas are suspended for the time being due to COVID-19. There is no specific rule for the minors. It applies for minors as well as majors.
Okay. Can you go over the acceptable conditions for an emergency visa, please?
Yeah. In order to obtain an emergency visa, the following circumstances may be considered as qualifying for an emergency. First is the death or serious medical conditions of immediate relatives. Then another one is students who are US citizens who have parents residing in India, whether they hold US citizenship, holding an OCA, or Indian citizens. Validity of other emergencies will be determined on a case-by-case basis. They have to send mails. These are all on our website. They have to send mails detailing their emergencies, and the consulate will let them know whether to apply or not for the time being.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to the travel related, when the travel comes in, right, close by, is there a COVID-19 negative test needed in the USA within 3 days of the flight?
Yes, of course. All these informations you will get from the website www.newdelhiairport.in. As per the extant rules, a negative RT-PCR test report at least 72 hours prior to the flight has to be uploaded on that website. That is www.newdelhiairport.in. The traveler can also keep a copy of the report to submit at the medical counter at the airport. So here I wanted to tell you one thing. Those people who wanted to, this we will be discussing later, those people who wanted to get exemption from quarantine, institutional quarantine, they have to upload this and get a get a response from them. Otherwise, upload it and take the copy of the report along with them and submit it at the medical counter, and they will take a proper decision according to the situation.
Thank you. Is there a form that has to be filled online with Government of India to get a waiver from quarantine after arrival?
Yeah, yes. There is no such waiver, but of course you have to upload all the details and this negative report on the website, and the concerned medical authorities will take a call on it, and they will inform you either through that website, or you will get an information when you reach the destination. But every individual is required to give an undertaking on the New Delhi Airport portal, or otherwise to Ministry of Civil Aviation, Government of India, through the concerned airlines, before they are allowed to undertake the journey, that they would abide by the decision of the appropriate government authority to undergo facility, home quarantine, or self-monitoring of their health for 14 days or as warranted. Only for compelling reasons or cases of human distress, such as pregnancy, death in family, serious illness, and parents with children of the age of 10 years or below, may home quarantine be permitted. It may be noted that the decisions will be taken by the medical authorities present at the airport.
Thank you. Is there a different process for Indian citizens versus the foreigners like US passport holders or other passport holders?
See, all incoming passengers, regardless of their citizenship, will have to abide by the aforementioned rules, which I said now, and may be permitted to quarantine at home under rare circumstances, which also I explained. As mentioned, explained. Once again, these decisions will be taken by the medical authorities at the airport. This we have to keep it in mind, because we have no authority or control over it. The medical authorities present at the airport, they will be taking decisions as per the situation there.
Okay. Thank you. If a co-passenger in one of the flights is found to be positive on landing, will the co-passenger be quarantined or isolated, and will other passengers be notified?
See, about this, there is such a possibility, but the consulate or embassies are not involved in such decisions. We cannot take a decision, or we can't. Such decisions will be made at the discretion of the medical authorities present at the airport as warranted by the situation. So more than this, I cannot tell anything about it right now. Of course, the necessary precautions will be taken by the authorities, keeping in mind the situation on ground and the safety of all the people involved.
Thank you. Is there assistance provided by Government of India for people of Indian origin in such situations? Like once they arrive, like quarantine, basically for quarantine and other isolation.
Yeah, due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the risks involved, the Government of India discourages all types of travel to and from the country in order to minimize the risk of infection for not only the passengers, but of the people of India as well. This is the paramount, this has been given paramount importance by the Government of India. If, however, you need to travel to India for any specific emergencies, the passenger will be responsible for the possible expenses relating to institutional quarantine and other medical expenses involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Is a stopover in Europe or Middle East allowed? Is transit allowed? Is there a list of airlines that one cannot fly?
Here I would like to tell something about the air bubble agreement between India and different countries. As per the air bubble agreement between India and the United States of America, the only flights that are permitted are Air India and United Airlines, which are the only direct flights to India and back. This is done in order to minimize the risk of infection through stopovers in other countries. Keep in mind that this is in the best interest of the passengers and the individuals they will come in contact with once in India. It may be noted that individuals traveling on any other airlines with stopovers, either in Europe or in the Middle East, will be doing so at their own risk, since they may not be allowed to travel from the transit points to India. There have been many cases in the recent past where people have had to face such difficulties in their travels, with some even being forced to return to the USA. So all the air bubble agreements are bilateral agreements. So there are more than 20 bilateral agreements and with almost all the countries. And what happens there is that that agreement is specifically for those countries. If, as I explained, for US and India, it's people are supposed to travel directly from US to India and back from India to US to minimize the the problem or infections.
Yeah. Thank you. So now all inbound flights are routed, or destination is New Delhi, right? And few other cities. What are the plans to open other airports to international visitors? Like Chennai?
Yeah, all decisions relating to airports are taken by the Ministry of Civil Aviation, Government of India. So my advice will be that we always should be updated from these websites every day, because according to the situation, the government will take appropriate decisions. But practically, I have seen that even though some of the airports are open, but there are domestic flights connecting these main flights. So travel is not a big problem if you book all the tickets prior to your travel.
Right. Is there a helpline for a passenger after reaching the airport here in US, and if they face any last minute issues before boarding the flight? Is there a helpline that is offered by consulate?
See, there is a helpline, but helpline in that you can get it from our website. There is an emergency number also given there. But my advice will be to be conversant with all the latest rules and be aware that the 10-year. I have seen many experiences, many incidents where people just go to the airport thinking that their 10-year valid visas are valid, tourist visas are valid, and from there they try to board the flight which the airlines will not allow them. Then they have to come back or to go to the nearest consulate to get a visa, emergency visa. That is not so easy. So it is always better to be completely aware that everything is okay. Then only people should start their traveling. That is my advice. Of course, there are helplines which is for all the consulates. You can get it from the website of all the consulates.
Thank you. Is there any quarantine period in India after reaching the Indian airport before reaching the destination? For example, we land in New Delhi first, and then before proceeding to Chennai, is there a quarantine period that a passenger has to go through in New Delhi before starting the next travel?
For this, let me tell you, as long as an individual is found to be COVID-19 negative at the airport of arrival, they will not be required to quarantine if they have a connecting flight booked to their destination. But it may be noted that the quarantine requirements differs from state to state, and passengers will be required to abide by any such rules at their destination airport. that decisions will be taken by the concerned medical authorities at the airport.
Okay. Do the passenger have to undergo the testing once they land in New Delhi airport, even though they produce a document negative
As
COVID?
No, as far as the rules are concerned, if they are having this negative test report with them, which was already uploaded as required, uploaded in that website, then they don't have to go through any more tests. And there is another provision also. You can get the test done there also, but that depends whether that airport has that facility or not. Remember that all the airports may not have that facility. So it is better you get this test done at least, that is negative RT-PCR test taken at least 72 hours before the flight and preferably not more than 92 hours prior to the flight.
Okay.
The test to be done and negative report should be uploaded on that website and carry a copy of that along with the passenger.
Thank you. Can we get the list of airports considered as bubble airports recognized by Government of India from the website? At what frequency are the countries or airports updated?
The list of air bubble agreements between India and other countries is available on the website of the Ministry of Civil Aviation, India. It must be noted that an air bubble agreement is a bilateral agreement between India and the specific country from which the passenger is undertaking the journey. This is a bilateral agreement. In case of the air bubble agreement between India and United States of America, only direct flights from USA to India and from India to USA are permitted. This agreement is, as I said, it's bilateral agreement between two countries, India and the other country. So even though an airport is designated as an air bubble airport, that is with regard to that bilateral agreement between India and that country.
Okay. Next question, has the changes to OCA instituted by Government of India last year has been put on hold or extended, as it is a bit difficult to get them done, especially with the changes in the outsourcing company?
Yeah, OCA holders who are supposed to get their new OCAs issued can travel with the old OCA, provided they have the following documents while traveling to show as proof. One is the old US passport, the number of which is endorsed in the OCA card. Then the new US passport, then OCA card. It may be noted that the Government of India permitted such travel till June 30th, 2021. But my advice will be to get the OCAs changed wherever necessary. That means once the person reaches the age of 50, and when they get a new passport, they are supposed to get a new OCA card. And those minors under 30, whenever they get a new OCA or passport, US passport, they are supposed to get a new OCA card. But as of now, because of COVID, government has permitted to travel with the old OCA, old US passport and the new US passport till 30th June 2021.
Thank you. Now that vaccinations are being rolled out in UK and US, should we still present the COVID negative test if someone has already received a vaccination and then traveling to India?
The questions about COVID-19 vaccinations and vaccination policies cannot be answered at this moment because this will be decided by the concerned authorities of the Government of India. The consulate embassies have no specific information on the matter as of now.
Okay. Are there any questions from others who are in this meeting?
Good morning, sir. There is a particular question somebody asked about having an expired passport, but they do have the OCA card. I believe you already mentioned that even though you have an OCA card that's considered to be a long-term visa, that you can't generally travel right now with the restrictions, if I'm correct. And also, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I know from your question, from that question, what I gathered is that the expired US passport means he must have a new passport also with him. And the expired passport's number might have been endorsed in the OCA card. So what he has to do is that hold the new passport, old passport, the number of which is endorsed in the OCA card, and OCA card. So he can travel till 30th of June 2021 as of now.
Thank you, sir. One of the questions, that added question was that, is there any relaxation to that rule of applying for a new passport due to this COVID situation?
The question is not clear because passports can be renewed before 3 years of its expiration, 1 year of its expiration, and 3 years after expiration. Okay, but as you know, with an expired passport, nobody can travel. So for emergency travel, they have to get a new passport. Without passport, maybe even because of COVID, nobody will be allowed to travel without a valid passport.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Do you want to talk about any other points that future travelers would like to know?
I can give some general advice only in the sense, see, avoid this pandemic has happened once in a lifetime in all of our life, and this is new to all of us, a new situation. So, but we have got very good experience from this. All of us had to face a lot of problems, a lot of valuable lives have been lost, but we all should learn from this. And my advice is that people should avoid the journeys maximum for the safety of the passengers as well as our family and our dear ones. But wherever there is a necessity, we have to do it, but with more keeping all the precautions in mind.
Right. Okay. One more question that popped up. Can a newborn apply for OCI card at this moment?
Of course. Our OCA links, anybody can apply. I mean, newborn citizens, yes, of course, they can apply for OCA card. You have to keep one thing in mind, that once all the documents and application reaches the consulate, it takes at least 25 to 30 days to issue a new OCA card. But for change of an OCA to another OCA, that's considered as a miscellaneous services. For that, once the application reaches the consulate, we try to clear it, send it back within 5 to 6 days. So those who are holding OCA cards, they can get it changed within a week. But for the new OCA card, it will take at least 25 to 30 days after physical presence of, after the application and all the documents reaches the consulate, it will take another 25 to 30 days. Here also, I would like to tell you one thing. Before sending the application, people should at least read the instructions properly so that no document is missing. If there is a document missing, then naturally it will waste your time and your value time as well as the consulate's time also. So that is one advice, because I have seen many practical situations where people send half of the documents and they say we applied 1 month back and we haven't received our documents yet.
Right.
One more thing I would like to tell you is that because of pandemic, there are a lot of restrictions and a lot of pressure on our collection agency as well as on the consulate. So please bear with us and be precise in sending all the documents properly, which will help you as well as ease the burden of the consulate.
What is the duration that we need to apply an emergency visa? The time from when we apply and when we receive it, is it within 3 days or 5 days? What is the time limit for that?
See,
as far as you've gone through it already. Sorry.
Yeah, as far as I can only comment about consulate in Houston. As far as we are concerned, real emergencies, once we get the application, we try to issue a visa if everything is okay on the same day itself, and we send it back by the same day by FedEx, or the envelope, prepaid envelope sent by the applicant.
Okay.
Here, I would like to tell you one thing. These are practical things I have seen. Some people use different postal services, which may take 3-4 days to get it back.
Right, that's right. It can be processed in a day, but yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the service they use.
Right. And what's the duration of the emergency visa that you provide?
Yeah, as far as per the extant rules, we issue single entry 6 months emergency visas. Here, people ask what kind of visa we should apply online, because in a form has to be filled online. So there, you may not see any emergency visa category. You have to apply for an entry visa, that is X visa. So those people, here I would like to tell one more thing, those people who are already holding long-term X visas, that is entry visas, that restrictions has been removed by Government of India. So I would like to tell you business visas, long-term business visas, long-term employment visas, and long-term entry visas, that is X category. It will be written there X or X1. That is entry visas, which is valid, and they don't have to get an emergency visa to go to India. They can travel very well on that X visa. But tourist visas, that is T visa, issue long-term T visas. This is the kind of visa people of Indian origin usually take. That is 10 years visas. That is tourist visa. Those kind of visas are suspended for the time being and they cannot travel. For them, they have to get an entry visa, emergency entry visa.
Okay. The next question is, a new provider VFS Global for Indian passport services for Indian consulate does not have the complete list. How could that be addressed?
Complete list means the question is not clear.
A checklist.
Complete checklist is there. We should give little time to them. They are trying to the Embassy of India in Washington is constantly in touch with them, and we are trying to iron out all the deficiencies there, because the VFS Global is a big organization. They have connection with, they provide services to various embassies, various countries' embassies. So they have they didn't make a particular specifically for Government of India or for US. So they are trying to do that, and very soon those deficiencies will be ironed out and everything will be okay. My suggestion is whatever questions or doubts are there or problems are there, they should send emails to the consulate, and we will take up the matter with the VFS and iron out all the problems.
Is in-person visit allowed to consulate to apply for an emergency visa? Somebody really wants to travel to India in a very urgent basis. Is there they can directly go to the consulate, apply and get the visa right there?
Even though we discourage walk-ins, but still we are making special arrangements for people who are real in emergency to go to India. They can come to the consulate. For that, they have to give details. I mean, what is the emergency? We will see it, and then we will call them. We have dedicated helplines, email lines, and emergency lines. So they can call that, and we will, get back to them and make arrangements for them to come here. Even though they are not allowed to get in, we make arrangements to get the documents in and try to help them as soon as possible.
That's really wonderful. Can you please shed light on Vande Bharat mission, where we can take there are a lot of visitors like parents, siblings who visit us from India. How Vande Bharat helped them reach India back?
Yeah, Vande Bharat, the mission was really a successful mission done by the Ministry of External Affairs, Ministry of Civil Aviation, and the Ministry of Health and Welfare. All the agencies worked together, and they did a tremendous job all over the world. And that you can get all the feedback from the social media itself. It was a huge success of the missionary working together at this critical condition.
Yeah, really good. Yes. There is one question. If I have a real emergency, can I apply for an emergency visa for a family of 4, or a family visa? Like, how much evidence they have?
There is no family visa. They have to apply to separately. Mm-hmm. But according to the condition, of course. Suppose somebody has died in India, and the person has to go, and he can't leave his children here. Of course, we know that, and we give a visa for the family, taking that emergency situation in mind.
Okay.
Yeah. There is no restriction of number like that, because emergency, if some medical emergency is there or some death happened in the family, so the entire family would like to go back to India and meet, to go there. Yeah, so we give.
Okay. Any other questions from anyone?
I think it's already answered, but people again asked this, can a person having OCA travel now? Maybe a reinstatement of that. I think there is it might be a good, I know you already answered this, but probably could again answer again.
Yes, all the OCA card holders are, there was a temporarily suspended for some period, but in May that restrictions were, in June that restrictions were removed, and all the OCA card holders can travel just like Indian passport holders. But here again the problem is that some of them were supposed to change their OCA card because they are over 50 years of age, or minor children who's those who get new passports. As I explained earlier, they can travel with their new passport, old passport, and OCA card. They can go.
I think that is the exception that
given by the government of India due to this pandemic. And one more thing I would like to tell you is that previously, this is my practical experience, previously people used to weigh whether to get a 10-year valid visa, 10-year tourist visa, or OCA card. Then people used to say that to get an OCA card, it takes 30 days. To get a visa is 5 days, so let us take a visa. But, when such situations comes, always remember one thing, OCA card is considered, the people who are holding OCA cards are considered almost at par with NRIs. So still the restrictions on tourist visas, long-term tourist visas are there, but restrictions on OCAs have already been removed. So as soon as possible, it is better to get an OCA card issued for those who are Indian origin people. That will ease their problems later on.
Understood. Yeah.
It's though it will take almost 1 month. The procedure is easy. Once the application is done, you have to wait only, and you will get your OCA card in 35 days.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. There is one more question that came up. Paper PIO is also a valid visa for travel. Is that correct?
See, PIO cards, as you know, these cards were issued and it is not machine readable. All the PIO cards are handwritten documents. These PIO cards were already, Government of India, once the OCA system was started, they asked all the people to change the PIO to OCA. First 2 years, it was free of cost. Now they charge a fees. But still, a lot of people are holding that, thinking that it is a long-term visa. No more it is valid in the sense, but Government of India has extended the date till 31st December 2021. Government of India immigration will accept that PIO cards. But the problem is that international rules doesn't allow any people traveling on a non-machine readable document. So even though they may not face any problem at the immigration in India, at other immigration points, they may face problem because it is not a machine readable document. So it is my advice to get it changed as soon as possible. It's also the fees is, I think it's $100 plus the service fees. But it is better, you will get it fast because that's a miscellaneous service. It's conversion of PIO to OCA. So that is not considered as a new OCA card. PIO to OCA. That you will get it in 10, 15, maximum 10 days. I am giving you a bigger, longer date. Before that, you will get it. But better change it right now, because even though Government of India allow people to go into India, in other immigration points, they may face problem because the international rules doesn't allow any non-machine readable travel documents now.
Okay, thank you. We are almost at the end of the event. As a closing remark, can you please reiterate the visa restrictions and acceptable conditions for emergency visa? Many people might have joined late.
Okay.
So if you can go over that, please, again, just as salient points. Thank you.
Yeah, I would be happy to tell it again and again because, people, there are many people who have many doubts. There may be specific questions. Always specific questions can be addressed to the consulate on that email. We have an email, emergency email, that is emergency CGA at swl.net. This can be you will get it from our website. As long as long-term visas, medical visas and e-visas are suspended due to COVID-19 pandemic. So people who are holding long-term tourist visa, that is T, it is written T on the category, tourist visa and medical visa, M1, etc. and electronic visas. Now that website is no more working because it is suspended for the time being. Nobody is allowed to get any e-visa. Those who are holding long-term e-visas, medical visas, and tourist visa. Tourist visa means T. These are suspended for the time being due to COVID-19 pandemic. So those who are holding these visas, tourist visas, medical visas, and e-visas, are not eligible to travel to India on the basis of that visa. For any emergency travel, they have to obtain a short-term emergency visa. That is entry visa, short-term entry visa, which will only be given once the individual provides documentary proof of an emergency back in India. Individuals traveling on business or employment or medical purposes should apply for fresh visas with all the necessary documents.
Thank you for the recap, sir. There was one more question somebody asked about, when you talked about emergency. At the situation of emergency, people are little panic and they don't know what to do. Is there a documentation in the websites? What documents are required for the emergency visa in case of a death of someone close back in India? Are there any death certificate required and such cases of information? Is it available in the website?
Yeah, it is available in the website. It is available in the Embassy of India, Washington website, and all consulate websites. It is available in Houston consulate website also. Basically, what we ask for is there is an death. The death certificate should be there. And the relation, you have to show that there is an emergency back home. Death happened to a close relative. This is to deter, people who may take advantage of the system. Okay, so, and if there is a medical emergency back home where your presence is required, of course, a letter from the doctor who is, treating the patient is sufficient. This is the main document, and other documents is, general documents like the application online and printout form with photo. Then address proof should be there because we have jurisdictional restrictions. We have jurisdiction over only 8 states. So those people who are staying in our states only, we can serve them. So that for that we usually take copy of driving license as the proof. Then of course, the passport. Some people ask, should we send our passport for issuance of visa? Of course, without passport, we can't issue a visa. Passport and a copy of the passport. Mainly that emergency, the documentary proves that there is an emergency back home.
Thank you. Thank you, Consul Jacob Abrahams, for your detailed explanation, and appreciate your time in spending with our fellow Anomalians today. Thank you.
It was my pleasure to be with you, and I hope I was clear in answering the questions. If there are any more questions, you can always send emails, because calling on telephones, it is better to send emails so that, you will get it back, a precise answer specific answer for that. So I will advise always send, even if you call emergency number, send a mail also to that emergency email so that we can respond back to you properly.
Yeah. Thank you so much for all the reiteration too. We went over multiple times similar questions, and thank you all who are posting questions via YouTube too. It was, hope you all had a useful session. Now I will give the control to Arun Murray and Raj Chillappan, who are going to present about the membership drive and future events. Over to you, Arun Murray.
Thank you, Jayashree. Thanks, Consul Jacob Abrahams, for that very informative session. This is the first of the current affairs series by the AUAA-USA. Thank you all for joining us. I hope you all found it useful. Similar to this, we are planning more series of events in categories like Down the Memory Lane and Entrepreneur Spotlights, etc. The next event is planned as the Down the Memory Lane with our distinguished alumnus, Professor M.C. Madhavan, graduated BA Economics with honors in the year 1955. This is planned on the Saturday 9th. Details about this event will be given out after my message by Muthu in his concluding remarks. I want to take this moment to request you all to become a member of the Annamalai University Alumni Association USA by visiting and registering at the AUAA-USA.org. The lifetime membership is only $100. The 3 main goals of our association is to connect, network, and contribute. Connect and socialize with alumni and relive our youth, walk down the memory lanes along with our fellow alumni, both seniors and juniors. Network with alumni to professionally connect and help each other in our profession, academics, and our business. And of course, lastly and not leastly, contribute back to our alma mater and the students that are graduating from our distinguished institution. I am proud to say one such significant contribution by our alumni is the recent launch of the construction of the integrated R&D center a couple of days back. We are planning a lot of activities, both virtually and hopefully soon in person across the country to facilitate the above goals. There will be talks, in-person events, as well as hopefully one annual event in person. Hence, we request you all to not miss out on these activities and join and become a member. Not only that, we also request you to reach out to your classmates, batchmates, and other known alumni and request them to become a member. According to LinkedIn, there are more than 5,000 alumni in the US, and our wish is to connect with them all. Once again, please register and become a member at AUAA-USA.org. To keep current with the activities of the association, follow us also in the social media, LinkedIn and Facebook at AUAA-USA. Finally, if you would like to contribute and help and volunteer in the activities, also if you have any suggestions, please write to admin at AUAA-USA.org. Now for a concluding word of thanks, over to you, Muthu.
Thank you, Arun. First of all, I would like to, take this time to thank everyone who have joined across, from various regions to see our program, watch our program. Thank you so much. And as Arun said, this is our first event after the launch, and we will be looking forward to so many other events. My sincere thanks to Mr. Consul Jacob Abraham, who has agreed to come and talk to us and spend his time on a weekend explaining to our alumni and whoever is here to come and watch the program a lot of details which we don't generally care about, but when it's time to care, we do not have such information, where to go, what to do. And even among all our friends, for example, we talk about it, hey, can we travel? And we get 10 different questions, 10 different answers for each question, completely confused, right? This is amazing that we were able to clarify a lot of questions. Of course, people in this online come later and later over asking the same questions. Thank you, sir, for your patience and taking up with grace all the questions and amazingly clear all our questions that we had today. And I would like to thank our president, Mr. Sam Kanapan, who has introduced us to you so that we could have a live session. And of course, I would like to thank the AUAA-USA Board of Directors and all the advisors that we had been working together very well to form this organization and prepare a lot of activities for it. Then I would like to take a special mention that Jayashree has taken up to run this event. Thank you so much, Jayashree. She's from the 93 B Farm and 96 M Farm batch. Thank you, Arun Marie, who's taken up the membership drive. So please reach out to us and become a member. It's fun to be part of this organization. As he mentioned, the 3 goals. Whatever you wanted to do, let us know. We'll take it from there. There is no such thing as this is what we focus. Thank you, Arun Marie. He's from the 89 E&I. Then Raj Sullivan, who is also shortly called CS. He's from the 90 Mechanical. He also worked very closely with Arun Marie in getting the membership drive. And I have Ilan Tendril, who is also operating the technology for us in the back end. Thank you, Ellen General. He's from 2004, information technology. And if you see any flyers here and there, with colorful pictures, it is also done by Amiti, who's also 2004, but not Anamalayan. She's just born in 2004, and she's daughter of Arun Murray. So thank you, Amiti. And finally, I would like to say, watch and wait. And I would like to invite all of you now. Such an amazing event coming, what we called as down the memory lane, right? We all have, I'm sure, every one of us, when we talk about Annamalai University, lots of experience, amazing experiences. One is the campus itself, and two is our age. That's how we were there and had fun. Let me not go into the details, but think of everything that you did in the university. That happens year over year over year. And we realize now, talking to somebody who finished their courses back in 1950s, 1960s, you talk to anybody, they all have the same enthusiasm. They've had almost similar experiences. That's what will make us, when we hear that, think about it, laugh, and share a lot of interesting things. So there is a program that is coming, slated on exactly the same time, December 9th, Saturday at
January
8
9th.
a.m. I'm sorry, January 2021. We'll start with this memory on January 9th, Saturday, 8 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Central time, and then 11 a.m. Eastern time, with Dr. M.C. Madhavan, Professor M.C. Madhavan. Such an amazing person. Please don't miss it. And we will, of course, communicate to you. In the meantime, you see that message where you can reach out to us, send us an email, become a member. Let's take it from there. And I would like to say thank you, everyone. Thank you, all the viewers. And this message will be available, this recording will be available on the YouTube for you to go back and watch anytime. Thank you once again.
Thank you.